Hi there, guys. My name's Shawn Mealy. I've been asked by your teacher, Miss Lou, to help you guys get up to speed on Scratch. For those of you who don't know, Scratch was developed by MIT as a means to help get people introduced to programming. The way that you program in Scratch is not by writing code, but instead by using various script blocks to be combined together to have the sprites on your stage perform various actions. Now, all that might sound a little bit confusing, but don't worry. It's actually pretty easy to get up to speed with Scratch. So let's get started. First and foremost, we're going to talk about our sprite. So what is a sprite? A sprite is this character right here that you see on our stage. By default, Scratch is going to show you the yellow cat sprite, but you can choose from a multitude of other sprites just by clicking here in the new sprite area. You'll notice here that we have all sorts of different sprites that you can work with, but we also have things like animals, you have fantasy, you can use letters, there's also people, things, so there's all different sorts of sprites that you can use. Next, you'll notice that the sprite here is living on what we call the stage. The stage is basically this white area here, and the sprite can't go off of this stage. So basically, it's kind of confined to this area. So you might be asking yourself, okay, what is a script? A script is simply a combination of script elements or script blocks. You'll notice here we're in the motion script blocks that are combined together to perform some sort of action. I created a script here that when we click on the green flag or the Start Script button, we're going to move 10 steps. We're going to turn the sprite 15 degrees. Then we're going to move for 20 more steps. So let's see it in action. So as I keep pressing on the green flag there, you'll notice that it keeps moving across the stage. The red stop sign here will also stop a script if it keeps running for a certain period of time. My script actually ends, so I don't need to hit the red stop sign. So there's some other tools that you might want to get yourself familiar with, such as the duplicate tool. When you click this tool and say click on a sprite, it'll duplicate that sprite so you can use it again. We also have the delete tool, which again, if you click on a sprite, will then delete it. You also have the grow, which will, of course, grow a sprite, or the shrink tool, which will shrink a sprite. Awesome. So those are the basics of Scratch, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. So first, we're going to take a look at the motion script elements. The motion script elements, basically, as they say, move your sprite to various areas on the screen, or the stage, I should say. So I have a script right here. When we press the 1 key, our sprite moves. So there you go. Pretty easy. Next up, we're going to talk about the look script elements. So the look script elements allow our sprite to either say things or change their costume. So when I press the 2 key here, when we press the 2 key, you'll notice that he says hello, and then his costume changes to this hat that I set up. To change costumes, we can just click on this tab here, and you'll notice that I have a hat. There's also this costume too, where he basically just changes his posture there. And that's basically it for the look script elements. There's a few other ones too. You can also change color and change different effects. There's also the sound script elements. So I have this little script here that when I press on the 3 key, it does a little scale for us. Next up, we have the pen tool. So I have a little bit of a larger script here, and basically what this script does is first we hide our sprite, and then we just write out the word hi. Basically what the pen tool does is it just takes the center position of your sprite and just draws a line with it. Cool. So the next up, we have the control script elements. Now this one might look a little bit more confusing, but basically what these allow us to do is have things that maybe repeat, or we can wait, or we can do all sorts of other things. So I have a script here that when I press the 5 key, our sprite will glide, wait 1 second, turn, and then glide again in a different direction. So here we go. All right. So the next up, we have the sensing script blocks. The sensing script blocks basically sense some sort of action, or they detect some sort of variable. So for us, I have a script that once we hit the 6 key and then hover our mouse over the the sprite, it'll meow at us. So by default, when I hover over the sprite, nothing happens. But when I press the 6 key, there we go, it meows. The next script element that we're going to talk about is the operators. Basically, what the operators allow us to do is any sort of basic arithmetic. They also have a helpful operator block that allows us to pick a random number. So for the example that I have, when I press the 7 key, he'll say hello world, which is joining 2 strings together, and then hello, my username, which the username is also a sensing block element that is found down below. Last and not least, we have the variables, or the data script blocks. And basically what these allow us to do is just kind of create some sort of way to store information. So I've created a variable. We're calling it teacher name, and in this case, we're setting teacher name to be equal to hello, Miss Lou. And once we press the 8 key, you'll notice that our little character there says hello, Miss Lou. So all these script blocks can be combined together to do some pretty interesting things. So I have a script down on the bottom here that will just basically repeat for either 100 to 1,000 times, and basically what it'll do is it'll play our scale and then glide to a random portion of the stage. So once we get that all together, you'll notice he'll move and play a different scale. So I hope that this kind of gives you an idea of some of the stuff that you can do with Scratch. I look forward to seeing what you guys do with it. And if you like this video, maybe I'll come back and show you guys how to make a video game. So enjoy, and best of luck to you.